Opie Radio.
And there's the man himself. What's up, Vic Henley?
It's all supposed to be, you're on the wrong stoop. People have been killed for less than this.
Were you hoping the band would have done a little differently as far as maybe moving out of the punk?
The reason that it sounded the way it did was lack of technability, you know. I mean, I'd only been playing a few months.
Right.
So that I was limited for what I could do. And Rotten's never sung before, and he sounded the way he sounded.
Right.
And I think, lyrics are fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic lyrics from a young guy to write them words, Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen. And all the other songs, they were really intelligent lyrics.
Yeah. Did you guys start the spitting?
Supposedly started from John. He always says that he had like meningitis or something. He's always singing, coughing, and spitting from singing. You know, I guess some kids saw it and thought that was what you had to do.
Right. But didn't someone get hepatitis or get sick from
Joe
that?
Strummer supposedly got sick from it.
Didn't he opened his mouth and got...
A big one went in there,
Yeah.
Was somebody spit right in his mouth?
Yeah, who spit in his mouth, I guess?
Just a fan. Just
it was a fan. Okay, I misunderstood
That's
that
a
in the
fan?
book.
Who's an enemy?
There's a whole thing going on.
No, because the fans started thinking, oh, this is what
This
you
is the
want.
thing you want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spit on you while you're singing. And then he opened his mouth and he got a loogie in there and supposedly got pretty damn sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
But everyone used to do it.
concert is this?
It's funny, sometimes I used to see some concerts a bit later on. The guys would come out and literally it was like a hail of arrows being...
We'll fight in the shade.
Yeah.
300 of them.
Spears of phlegm.
Yeah.
My dad was well, let's just put it this way, an entrepreneur slash
I remember the concrete
scammer.
business. I remember the concrete business is one of the greatest.
Well, that was just to keep us busy. That wasn't a business. That was to keep us out of our crazy mom's hair.
All right.
For the people that don't know, my dad decided to keep us busy that we would do a lot of cement work around my house, building walls and paths that went nowhere. Literally, we'd go to nowhere. I'm like, Dad, this path is going up into the woods. Just keep pouring concrete.
We're outside.
Right.
It's a beautiful day. Stay away from her.
The Who. Who are you? Really about you or the whole band?
No, it's just about me and Cookie.
Isn't that cool?
We met him one night out at a club and he was really drunk.
Pete Townshend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd been at it all day. He was, business meetings all day, and I guess he just started drinking. It was one of them ones where he just got tied one on. And we met him in a nightclub, and he was talking to everyone who kind of bumped him. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? That's all he kept saying all night.
Right.
And then he run into me and Cookie, and he like came to and just started picking our brains for about 2 hours. He sobered up because he was hip to the Sex Pistols, and we're kind of from the same area, Shepherd's Bush, Hammersmith. And then he actually said later that song was based on meeting us.
Wow. One of their greatest songs, right?
Oh, shit,
Yeah.
Didn't get much bigger than that. Won't Get Fooled Again.
Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you, though? That's strong.
Did I ever tell you this one, that my family was part of a church? No. So we didn't have to pay taxes?
No.
True story. My dad ran with these guys, and they were all entrepreneurs, and they always had a way around shit. It was a tax scam. But it was all on the up and up. I think they've changed the laws and the rules since then, because I don't hear of this anymore. But we had to walk around as kids with a tax exempt form. And whatever we paid for, we had to hand in the tax exempt form and say we're part of a church, so they wouldn't charge us the tax. And it was always humiliating going with my friends. I never pulled that thing out, but I was always asked when I got home, did you pull out your tax exempt form?
You know, that's so insanely crazy. You never even told me.
Yeah.
Let's all sing the chorus. I don't know how it goes, but yeah, right.
Who are you? Remix.
I woke up in a store. We have the full-on Hasidic. No, it's the Mohawk of Hasidim.
I see that.
It's usually, I've seen the curls.
That's curly fries.
Yes, I've seen the curls, but usually you don't see the fully shaved head and just the curls. Wow. So this guy is serious. And yet, his wife, doesn't have her head covered.
No, she's
She's just walking around in blue sneakers, so they may be the rednecks of Hasidim. they're on the fringe out here. I don't know what's their progressive.
Oh my God.
And yet not. I don't know.
The other one that's becoming all the rage is the Toto one, but it has the heated seat and it goes up electrically.
Right.
And as the water squirts up your ass.
Yeah.
After you've gone.
Right. Have you tried that?
No, I haven't. I don't know.
Good for you, Steve Jones.
It's a lot of work, you know what I mean? A lot of work.
I bet it's just moist back there.
It's a lot.
Supposedly it dries it.
It dries
for
it
you too,
afterwards too.
It sprays the front too, don't it? Can it spray the front and the back?
It does it all.
Nice.
If it was a human tongue, I'd be into it.
There you go.
Shiites are the best though. Where the men are allowed to walk around and when it's 100 degrees out in cargo shorts and sandals and a t-shirt, and the women have to be completely covered.
Well,
How is that a thing? I don't get it. I'm not making fun of anyone's religion. I just simply don't get it.
again, you got to look up Tater Saddle's joke on this because he has a joke about the place that they only allowed one eye hole, not two. He's got a whole bunch of material about it, and I'm not going to do his act. But
Okay, but that's...
look up a little Tater Saddle and one eye hole.
I will absolutely look that up.
He had a rough childhood.
Being the only child is is a bad and good thing at the same time. It's like being a rock star with two fans.
Yeah.
Well, Sherrod, it's okay until the mom gets a new boyfriend.
Oh, did he hit you?
No, he molested me.
Jesus, I guess that's the worst hit of all.
Only once, but it was enough to spin me out, you know.
Out of control.
It's all good, man. I mean, you know, like I said, there's a positive to that. It made me angry.
Right.
It made me drive more to get out of the shithole I was living in and to get away with that. And it really did have a lot to do with me wanting to start a band, an angry band, like the Sex Pistols.
So are you trying to tell the kids out there if they want to start a band?
Get molested.
Can I jot that down? Let me jot that down.
Then we need to go this way.
Ah, nice.
It somehow backfired on them. So we're walking in at 90th Street at the Reservoir. This is where I go every day for a couple hours.
Beautiful.
There's usually a little man that sits in there. He's been sitting there for about 70 years.
Doing what?
Nothing. Telling people, go around.
That's his whole
That's
job?
it. That's
Go around.
That's a volunteer. Where are we? You're in the lake. Go around. Circle.
And there was also a local pedo that might have, you know.
There's a lot of them everywhere.
Well, over there?
Well, he had a...
I had a little thing with a Peter.
To part two.
Another one?
Yes.
He was just a sexy little boy, huh?
I guess I gave off that energy.
Good looking.
It's the hunger.
I was getting my first divorce, and there was 4 or 5 people. Like, I was getting a divorce. 2 dudes I knew were 7-8 year relationships were breaking up, where they'd lived together and moved across country and stuff. And then another girlfriend of one of them's, same thing. She found out her husband was a crackhead.
Whoa.
Like 2 months before their wedding. And he's in jail. He has to call her from jail. He's been tricking her on every single time he would go, well, I'm having boys' night out on the weekend or something. He's somewhere smoking crack.
In like a crack house?
Yes, like a crazy hidden double life Wall Street thing. But she joined us on, and we used to everything had happened within 1 month. So everybody's relationship crumbles for whatever reason. And so we would come out here at 7:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock. Sometimes we'd walk 2 or 3 times a day. And it was just like, we need to walk off the hate. And it's just 4 of us out here just stomping along.
Right.
Yeah, just mad.
And then you got to hear, go around.
It's from the guy. So
Let's not leave out. I used to like peeping Tommy too.
You usually like peeping Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
You like voyeur.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, you freaky bitch.
Most
I
of
love
us
you.
like that. when you come upon something like that, you're stopping and watching.
Oh, I peek. Even if I hear it, I'm a voyeur. Even when it comes to ears, I'm in a hotel and I hear moaning.
Oh.
Everything's down.
And
I turn the lights down. I'm like, I can't even hear over the lights.
You got to get ready, and then you put the glass up against, right?
Yes.
You go glass?
I go
Gotta
glass.
go glass against the wall.
I like hearing and seeing things I shouldn't.
we've got Stephen Wright's opening for Ron White. How's that on the show Friday that we're going to be on Nantucket? He's odd. and he's Stephen Wright, and he's absolutely brilliant. He would come to town. He would do Letterman, and Eddie Brill was the warm-up on the Letterman show for 1,000 years. And so you're doing Letterman. You've done it. And so there's a hotel. They're flying you in. You're at the W or something really nice. And Eddie, I'm just going to go home with you. Your couch is the most comfortable.
Really?
Yeah. And so Eddie's like, well, come on, buddy, no problem.
I respect that.
They're putting you up. I don't really know. That confuses me.
Is that a bad thing to be into Peeping Tom?
Well, I used to go into these buildings and try to watch girls have baths and have a shit and all that. One time,
Two ends of the spectrum there, by the way.
I was so embarrassed once, it's in the book, that I was peeping Tom in, and someone must have called the cops. The cops showed up, and I quickly put it away and made that I was breaking in the house.
Oh, God.
Because I was too embarrassed.
To be out there jerking off, so you pretending like you were stealing.
Right.
I was breaking in the
Regular
place, yeah.
criminal than be peeping Tom.
He's like, no, I'm an arsonist.
Just the thing, right? Exactly. Right. I was going to murder the bitch.
That is too hilarious.
When you think of Stephen Wright, then you have to think Mitch Hedberg.
I know. So
I met Mitch Hedberg the day before he died.
I knew the Carolines. Wasn't it at Carolines?
The day before he died, I went and saw him at Caroline's, and he crushed. He looked healthy, too, because I heard all the stories over the years leading up to that. And then I went in the green room, and we met. He knew about the Opie and Anthony show at the time. Gave me like a crazy-ass, cool-ass hug. We exchanged numbers, and he was literally going to come on the show, the next day or a couple days later. And sure enough, the next day he was dead.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Steve Jones.
Definitely.
You wrote a very good book, very open. I appreciate that. Because a lot of celebrities that write books, man, they leave everything out.
They hold back.
Oh, it stinks.
The phony balonies.
Right.
There's a picture of him as a little kid with a monkey on his head, and he wrote, he's enjoying eating the head lice off of me. It's one of the funniest things. That's how far along I've gotten. I've gotten till the middle. Okay. And I just flipped over and saw that page, and he's like, this monkey's really enjoying a free snack off the lice on my head.
Nice.
It's about like this cop car is about to run us down.
I see that. Go around. Hi, officer.
They heard you. They wondered what we're doing. If you see something, say something. Two white men looking too affluent. One of them's holding some sort of device.
That almost.
It could be electronic. I'm not really sure. He may be.
It's some
about
kind
to
of
detonate. Right.
Yeah, it does look like something that could
It
detonate.
does totally.
Or some kind of Ghostbusters thing.
But he would steal from bands he was a fan of.
Didn't matter.
No mercy.
Now that's
Who's the biggest band you might have stole something from?
I guess there was many that's not even in the book. 'Cause
Well,
it just gets boring after a while.
But
Oh, I didn't find
come
it boring
on,
at all.
Somebody, give me one or
No,
two.
David Bowie.
Okay.
It does get much bigger than that.
Come on, somebody else. One more.
Roxy Music.
Roxy Music.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you like them, I thought. Weren't
I
you?
like all of them.
it seems like you like their stuff more.
Yeah. What did you like more, Roxy Music or their amps?
It was
That's
good.
incredible.
It was
There's an island that has somebody put some goats on it. And they just started multiplying, and so it's in the middle of the lake. And everybody just goes over there and feeds the goats. It's Goat Island. And so as soon as you roll up in your boat, all the goats come running because they're used to people feeding.
What's up with humans where they see an island and their first thought is, we got to populate this with one animal? I've seen the islands that are, infested with cats. I've seen the iguana islands. I never heard of a
The
goat
Keys,
island.
the roosters are in the Keys. I
Oh,
think.
that's
And
right.
There's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
chickens
yeah,
and
yeah.
roosters running around everywhere.
There's a lot of those fucking islands.
But somebody did this, and so, for kids, so it's a hillbilly petting zoo in the middle of the lake. It's for free. All you got to do is roll up there.
good.
What'd you steal from Bowie? Do you remember?
It was his last farewell tour when they were the Spiders from Mars
Right.
at Hammersmith Odeon, and I was like 15, 16. And they did their first
So
night.
good.
They did the first night. They left all the gear set up. And this place, it was the Hammersmith Odeon, which is now the Hammersmith Apollo. It's still there. Bands still play there. But I knew this place like the back of my hand. And I was like the Phantom of Hammersmith Odeon. I was getting the rafters, in the rafters, everywhere.
Did you have a mask?
I had a cloak of invisibility. So they left a roadie on like the 5th row, and I just waited till he fell asleep.
Yeah.
And he was snoring, and I snuck on there with some wire cutters. Got a load of these beautiful Neumann mics. I got the drummer's cymbals, the bass player's head, and I got Bowie's. I wish I still had this. Bowie's microphone, like this little Electro voice, but it had his lipstick on the end of it.
Oh my God! That could have bought my mother a house.
Where did that go?
Right.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Wow. No kidding.
I gotta interrupt you. See that lady right there? She was just topless.
Oh, I didn't really.
And it's an old lady in a bikini.
From the 70s.
From the 70s.
Very.
And she was, this brought up, that's pretty cool,
No, it was
actually.
like kind of Florence Henderson. It was very Florence Henderson for a
It gives you a whole different look at the park. But it's like more secluded, and that lady was topless. Then she saw us coming, and she wasn't shy about putting her top on. She put it on really slowly. She's got to be, I would say she's at least 60-something.
I was going to say 65.
And look at her body, though. It's banging. Look at the ass now. Now she turned to show us her ass.
And she's on the phone saying 2 creepy dudes are talking about
yeah, okay.
some sort of detonator device. They are.
I got to interrupt you because we just passed where they do Shakespeare in the Park. And every time I ride my bike past where they do Shakespeare in the Park here in Central Park in New York City, I think of the time Judy Gold was bragging about doing Shakespeare in the Park.
I remember that.
I just got to mention it again. And,
it's great.
And
so good how long you were.
And I, without making a joke, I wasn't going for a thing.
No.
I truly thought she meant she was doing Shakespeare in the Park where there's other people that do that, but they find just a tree somewhere and set up camp and do a little Shakespeare. And she looked at me. She was so mad. Because for the life of me, I didn't think for a moment that she actually got the big gig, the real Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah.
I know she did, and she crushed it.
Version of something.
Taming of the Shrew.
Right, all female.
Yeah.
But
no, she crushed it.
I was sitting there that day. She was absolutely wonderful because you couldn't have been more stupid. And admitting your stupidity the whole time. You're freely.
And it just made it funnier because I'm like, I'm such an idiot.
And then I had seen the thing that you had seen, so I was able to actually go, no, I know what he's trying. She was like, I know what he's fucking talking about. There's like 8 people standing out there, and they're on the side of a hill, just doing.
I was confused. I'm like, should I be congratulating her for this? And then when we found out it was the real thing, then of course. But
Woody Harrelson had been on Nantucket for the festival like 5 years ago, and Jackie Flynn and the Farrellys put all the Boston guys in the movies. So all the Boston comedians get a cameo or some little thing. So I'm in here with Nikki, and we're hanging out, and we're having a drink, having a Pimm's cup.
A Pimm's cup? I almost know what that is, finally.
So I go walking in the men's room, and Woody Harrelson comes right in behind me. And he goes in the stall, and I'm at the urinal. I go, hey, Woody, it's Vic Henley. I met you with Jackie Flynn a couple of years ago in Nantucket. And he's like, Jackie Flynn's a fucking psychopath.
Really?
I mean, in a really. So, but we're talking. I'm peeing. I don't know what he's doing. But we're talking through the fucking, just, where we got fired.
Right.
And
the stall, Jesus.
And so we're talking, and he goes, I go, all right, buddy. So I finished peeing, and I'm about to walk out. I'm like, an older guy was coming in, like a 70-something-year-old man, and I'm like, hey, Woody, I'm leaving now, so don't keep talking, because we're going to scare the shit out of this man. And he was like, all right, good to see you, Vic.
That's classic. Now we're underneath the Dakota on 72nd and Central Park West, looking up at Yoko Ono's joint. She's really old.
Walk across the side of the street over.
Why?
Because it bothers me.
Why?
Because it's just too close to ugly, horrible. Seriously, when my friends would come and visit me, I'm like, I'm only going to stand on the opposite corner, and you can go over there and take all the pictures you want. this is creepy to me.
Yeah, to this day,
It's creepy to me. Sorry.
To this day, the tourists take pictures exactly where John Lennon was shot.
fucking stupid.
We're gonna actually walk right by it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I don't
Vic.
like it. I know.
Which sadly brings us back to a time when Opie was taking video of tourists taking pictures in front of the Dakota, where John Lennon was assassinated.
Here's the entrance to the Dakota. Yeah, get a picture where he was murdered. There you go. Beautiful. Smile. That's where he was murdered.
And since this one's in poor taste on behalf of the leader of the Beatles, here's a backwards message for you tourists who like to take pictures in front of the Dakota, where John was killed.
We are now walking exactly where John Lennon was shot, and we're done. We're done. We're past. That was it.
I know.
And Mark David Chapman was hanging out.
Don't even stop.
Okay, but right here,
Don't stop.
or was it the other side?
No, why?
I think it was right here.
I don't like it.
He hung out all day waiting. Okay,
Stop.
I'll shut up.
With his copy of Catcher in the Rye.
Right.
So.
I'll shut up. So I got to tell you one other thing because we're coming up on the bar. So I've been doing my fishing the last week or so.
Perfect.
And you know, we all deal with like the haters online, right?
Yes.
They finally got me. So I caught a striped bass, and my fishing buddy, he had his phone, so he's like, I'm going to film you reeling it in. And it was a nice sized fish. It was about 30, 31 inches, and
Right.
legal's
Good
28.
eating.
Good eating, right? So then I posted on my YouTube channel because people always ask about my fishing. Here's me, you know.
It's real. It's true.
Yeah, here's me pulling in a nice striped bass, whatever. It's not supposed to set the world on fire or anything, but here's a little taste of my fishing life, right?
Right.
These motherfuckers, and I can't be mad at them. I can't be mad at them, for real. They're convinced that I need attention so bad that I put a dead fish on the line just so I could reel in a monster fish.
No.
And I was mad at first, and then I'm like, oh, man,
okay,
that's
fine.
good. That's good.
Fine.
And then I looked at the video a few times, and if you look at it, it certainly looks like it could be a dead fish. It's not. I'm here to tell you it's not. And a lot of these striped bass, especially the bigger ones, when you reel them in, they're exhausted by the time
you do.
Yeah, by the time you get them in shore. And then I'm like, I don't know if I could ever prove this wasn't a dead fish on my line. But then at the end of the video, you actually could see the back fin, you know, moves up and down.
I saw that episode of Andy Griffith's, and
Wait, do they have something like that?
There's several. That's a sitcom classic from a million years ago. Or somebody, but that's well, you got to appreciate it. Like they were like, no, you should just admit it. No, I did.
Yeah.
I woke up at 4 a.m. and drove to the fishmonger and bought the biggest motherfucker. They just got off the boat. Came back before daylight.
Right.
Put it on my hook. Threw it in the ocean. Went over, woke up my neighbor. Told him to come back. There it is. How are you, sir? Good to see you, chaps. All right.
What's up, Nick?
We just
Give me a
got
hug, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you. Good, real good.
We're recording you live? But it's the
We're finishing up this podcast.
about to the new one.
And he loves the hat.
He loves the hat.
I love it.
Bro, I left you a long time ago. I am fucking tired, exhausted.
Chilling.
You're in good shape.
I was part of a fight at the bar.
No.
They kicked some fucking guy out. Oh, it was the best.
What was the fight over?
Reloading.
So this guy comes behind me, like
a football fan. Or
a soccer fan, and he comes in the back and he's
Argentina
watching.
lose? Did they lose?
Argentina's losing.
Good.
Croatia.
Yes.
So I'm watching the game, and the guy standing behind me, and the bartender, old school New Yorker, he goes, "Hey, buddy, you got to buy something if you're going to watch the game." He goes, "No, I'm going to work. I can't drink anything." He goes, "Okay, 5 minutes." So after 5 minutes comes, I call the bartender. I go, "Hey,
Carl's the best.
I go, I don't want to say anything, but my $6,000 watch says you're about 10 minutes slow." He goes, "Thanks, cuz." So he goes, "Hey, soccer guy." He goes, "Hey, soccer guy, time to go. Carl here says it's been 10 minutes. The guy looks at me and goes, "More like 12 minutes. And the guy's like a real fucking nerd. And he goes, "I just watching the game. This is a free country." He goes, "It is a free country. It ain't a free fucking bar, though." So I'm like, "It ain't a free fucking bar. You see what Trump is doing to kids? You think you're gonna fucking sit in this bar?" Oh my God. So now I'm getting everybody riled up in the bar.
Stirring the pot.
I'm stirring the pot. And this guy, he must be all of 80 years old. And the guy stares and he keeps watching the game. And not only is he watching the game, he's being vocal. Like, oh, every time they miss a goal.
Yeah.
So he looks at me and goes, is this motherfucker an Argentina fan? I go, the biggest.
I'm going to Croatia.
He goes, I banged a Croatian girl once. I'm like, do it for her. He comes around the bar. He goes, that's it, Pancho.
Really? Yeah, that's it, Pancho.
And then I'm translating in Spanish. I'm like, adios, amigo.
And he threw him out.
Threw him the fuck out. And people Rudy clapped him the whole way out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got a free shot of Jim Beam for being American.
Yeah.
You sing?
No, I'm just black.
Rap then.
I definitely can't rap. I'm not that black. I'm right in the middle of those two. I'm R&B and hip hop.
I'm out of here. It's time to go. So here I go.